Hello everyone, I'm Wolfo Riders, and today I'm doing a review of the book called Blind Mission by the author Avicii Schmidt. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you'll be able to see the cover art, so you can look it up. A bit of a forewarning. I received this book for free in exchange for an honest review, and I intend to give one. It might seem like I'm being overly harsh on the book, but I add some good points to it. Okay. I really like thrillers, and that's what this book said it was. It was like a thrilling tale of suspense and espionage. Well, the thing is, there's not a lot of suspense, in my opinion anyway. It's like, oh, I get taken to a place out in the boonies. I don't know where I am, but I have awesome memories, so even though I can't see where I'm going, I know exactly where I am, and I'm able to go back there in the dead of night. But another point in the book that I didn't like was, apparently the guy's been legally dead for 3 days, but he would have had, stuff come up before the day that, he's going to the bank and all of that. But it wasn't really thrilling. It wasn't suspenseful. I wasn't wanting to turn the next page. I actually made myself read the next page. And there's a whole bunch of things, that I don't like about the book. And there's some things that I do like about the book a little bit. Mostly dislike. Like there's huge spans of time where he's just doing nothing. Like if this is a thrilling tale of espionage, there's a good few paragraphs where he's just derping around in an apartment. Like, oh, not really thrilling if he can just chill out. And it did kind of pick up around chapter 8, after chapter 8, but it was still too slow for what I would consider a fast-paced thriller, which it said it was. But if you're the type of people that like super slow burns with the narratives, you'll like it. And I actually wrote down a short list of what I thought was good about the book and what I thought was bad about it. Okay. I thought it was interesting, the thought process of the main character. Instead of being like, oh my goodness, why are they doing this to me? Actually, he does that at some point, but it's like, what should I do next? Instead of freaking out, feeling sorry for himself. But that leads to number 2. Sorry. They did try to give the character emotional backstory with his family getting killed in a bombing. But the thing is, the point of an emotional backstory is that the character whose backstory it is elicits some sort of emotion, not just feeling nothing. There's one thing to feel shock, but to just be like, I remember being at the graves, and just standing there. Well, it does say he wanted to cry, but it was just flat. It just felt like the character was phoning it in. One good thing about this book is short chapters, so it lets you have to suffer through. Okay, now for the bad. Typos abound in this book. Like, they use the wrong form of there a lot. They mess up with your and your. And it's just a whole... Well, that's more of a grammar thing, which is number 2. Is grammar is lacking in this book. There are some stretches where, it's grammatically correct, and then your. That seems to give a lot of people trouble, is your. Number 3, long stretches where the main character is doing nothing. Number 4 really annoyed me was halfway through a paragraph, it would switch whose point of view it was, but it wouldn't tell you. You just had to reread it and be like, oh, apparently we're seeing through the eyes of another person now. That would have been nice to know. And number 5, and last on my short list, because it's to keep it short, so I won't seem like I'm just bagging on this book. The author says a lot in the story, but he doesn't really say anything. Kind of like the Doctor from Doctor Who. He says a whole bunch of these long-winded speeches, but never really says anything. And then, well, actually the Doctor does generally reach a valid point. But I like the dialogue in my stories to be concise, not just going all roundabout. Anyway, overall I'll give it 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy it, but I'm sure those who like the slower paced narratives would love it. And those who are willing to look over typos. I mean, I do my fair share of typos, but I wouldn't put it out for sale instead of being, before it's thoroughly, proofread. But I will cut them some slack because it could have been on Amazon's end. But that's my review. Now, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. The book was meh. My guess is it wasn't my cup of tea. But it could be someone else's cup of tea. So, if you can sit through a whole bunch of chapters of pretty much filler and staring at people with briefcases and a character that is pretty much a sociopath because he feels nothing, then you'll like it. Have a good day. I'm Wolf of Riders, and I'm signing off.